Hey there, welcome back. Okay, so we are doing an update on my account that I had $100,000 in. You guys are going to see the account jump to 169 345. I did not make $70,000 this month, this week, however long it was. I deposited $70,000. I'm sorry. I needed someplace. We needed someplace to put this money, so we put it in here. But, don't be discouraged if you want to sort of like follow along on how to trade a $100,000 account. You can always like look at what I'm doing here and think, okay, I'm not going to do rather than think of it as a two contract thing. When I do two contracts, you can think about how if I did one, that might be more appropriate for a 100K account. Does that make sense? So I tend to trade on these larger accounts, trades in multiples, like 2 at a time, something like that, 3 at a time. But if you are working with a smaller account size, the same thing would be applicable to do just one of those contracts, okay? Potentially, if you like the stock pick and you are interested in these sorts of positions. So I teach how to do all these. I mentor people on how to do these types of trades in my Millionaire Mentorship Program. If you're interested in that, you can definitely click on the link below. It's one of the first comments in this video. And you can learn how to do these types of trades there and learn my system. So let's give you a little bit of an update from last week. Again, I deposited $70,000. I did that a little too soon. I'm sorry. I did mean to go longer period of time with the 100K, but sometimes you need a place to put money. And so I put it here. So here is the deal. Last week we had set up, or some of the first trades that we did, we bought Amazon Leaps. And these are still here. These are down 11 and 12%. Doesn't bother me. It's just sort of like stocks go up, stocks go down. I entered this position because on the more expensive leaps here that cost $5,000, right? The one cost $5,000. I'm buying this because I believe in Amazon growing longer in a long period of time, okay? The other two leaps I bought for a different purpose, and you'll start to see why that is in a little bit. But I still believe Amazon can go up during that time period, and I'm looking for growth in those leaps as well. Okay. Other things that I did last week, I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry. Can't really remember. But we'll come back to that in a second. So I know I set up some put credit spreads, probably on Amazon, these guys, right? And so look at that. Amazon is so close to the put price that I sold here of 225, and right now Amazon is 226. So it looks like I could be picking up these shares. If these go below 225 per share, then these shares are going to be put on me. And I think you guys remember, I don't mind that. I kind of want these Amazon shares to start doing covered calls with. So I'm cool with that. And so that's what we have going on there. And then I know this week I sort of doubled down on that and did another put credit spread that has a longer expiration date in March. Okay. So that's, I know a trade that I did, but you'll see here, right? Let's go up to the top and just see how I'm doing. Am I making money yet? Not really. But again, what I'm saying here is that I don't expect this account to get me like a growing account size right away. Like I have to make all the initial investments in some of the diagonal spreads that I'm doing for those to pay off over a longer period in time. So I have like a long eye on the long game here. I mean, great. It would be great if this popped up 10% tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. But that's not my expectation. And that's like not really actually my goal. So we'll go into more of the details about the trades that I did in just a second. But I wanted to give you a full of accounting of like the actual cash or the positions and cash, what they're worth. So the total account value is 169,345. This started with 170K, so I'm down. Oh my god, terrible. Okay, we're gonna go over to the next page, and I will meet you over there. Okay, so in episode 1, we left off on these ionic puts. So it was the date of 212. All right, so that's kind of where we left off. It looks like I came in after that, and I did a trade on Amazon, and this is essentially a call credit spread that I set up. And so I sold the 240 strike and I bought the 275 strike. That is, these two trades go together and create a spread, and you've got nice little like income there. I went in and I bought two Walmart leaps. Okay, so those are the 95 strike price, 1/15/2027 is the expiration date. And then I actually went in and sold a call against that leaps that I now own for a credit of 144. Okay, so that's a diagonal spread. All right, next up, you are on Valentine's Day. Who doesn't love Valentine's Day? And what do we have here? We have an Apple call credit spread, two of them. Okay, so bought the 280 strike, sold the 255, made a nice little credit of about $305 here. Then what did I do? Look, guys, I was like, ooh, I'm coming back in on the 18th, which is Tuesday, the next week. Since I bought those two Walmart leaps, I sell another call then on the other Walmart leap. So now I have two diagonal spreads going on Walmart. And then I noticed that Amazon has dropped a lot in share price. And so I sort of like double down on doing put credit spreads on Amazon, and then go like, hey, if I can pick up those shares at 225, I would also be interested in picking up some shares at the 220 strike. So I sell puts on those. Look at the premiums on this one that I'm getting to maybe potentially buy these shares. So 728 on two calls. I'm sorry, on two puts I'm being paid. And then I bought the 190 put for 49, so that trade goes together. Then I deposit. I did this trade like figuring that I would maybe want more Amazon shares because I knew this 70K was coming in like later that day or the next day. Okay, so that's why I was like, my Amazon position would probably be too large for me to be comfortable in at this point in time, had I not been depositing more funds. But since I was depositing more funds and I knew that, I was really good with going ahead with that trade. And then Ionic dropped in price, and I'm very close to being assigned on Ionic, which I didn't mind if that happened. So I kind of doubled down there as well and sold even more puts at the lower price that Ionic was on February 19th. So I actually did that today, this morning. So here's kind of where I am with my trades. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you how I track my trades and track how much money I'm making off of the trades in premium, so that I can just like track how much money I owe in taxes and track how I'm doing on the account overall. Like, the reason that my account isn't up in value right now is mainly because those leaps are down in value, okay? And I'm waiting for a lot of these call credit spreads and these put credit spreads to either like assign me shares or close out and expire worthless, or have me close them out in the future. So that's kind of what's happening right now. A lot of people might, be looking for me to sort of make my famous 100% return on this account. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I'm not totally confident in that. And I'll tell you why. It's because I'm entering these with this cash very slowly. Can you see this? Like, the amount of money that I'm actually trading on this 170K right now is not a lot of the overall portfolio value. I'm going in very slowly because I feel like this is being responsible to this money that is in this account. So I'm entering it slowly. I'm taking my time with this. There's just no rush. There's no rush. Okay. So entering the market with cash at different periods in time, to me, is very wise. That's what I want to do with it. So it's my account. I get to make the decisions about it. And if that means I'm leaving a little money on the table, I'm fine with that, to kind of protect the money that I have in there right now. Okay, so if you're an options trader, you're going to want to track your trades in some way, shape, or form. It amazes me when I meet with potential new traders that want to work with me, that they have no way to track their trades. Because if I ask them, how much money do you make on average trading options, or what's your profit and loss, they have no idea because they don't track. And you can see from looking at my account, it's nearly impossible to figure out how much premium I took in so far, because my account overall is down, right? But I collected this total amount in premium so far. So like, you can see how that's super misleading. So you definitely need to track your trades. to know what your tax liability is, and just keep on track of what you're doing and have some indication of what is working and what's not working. There's so many reasons to track your trade. It'll make you a better trader too, okay? So this is how I do mine. I mean, there are people with really fancy spreadsheets. I don't tend to do it that way. I'm happy for anyone to get more complicated with it, but I like to keep things just really simple. So I always just track the date that I started the trade so that I can go back to even my brokerage account and like look at that date and reference it. The ticker, the trade type, I use abbreviations here. If it's a spread, like the two options that I am contracted to, and then the premium collected. Okay, so when I'm doing something like this Ionic put credit spread, which is the first one that you're going to see here on this first line, I got paid a certain amount to sell the put, and I had to buy a put for to make the spread. So what I do is I just do the math on my calculator and I plug in the final number up there to get that 353 that you're seeing, okay? So let's just go through the first one. We've got the date of 2/19/2025. The ticker is Ionic. This was the PCS, which is a put credit spread. That's my abbreviation. And then I put the first option down, the first put that I sold, because this helps me instantly remember, okay, I have to take on these shares if they drop lower than $29. And then my real downside protection is that 22, which I'm not really planning on using. Like, I'm not setting it up that way in this trade because I want the downside protection. I'm just trying to reduce the collateral it takes to make this trade. Okay. Same thing with the second one. That was just another PCS put credit spread. So that was just me doing like another batch of 2 of those. And it should be noted that both of these are 2 contracts. So the total of the 2 contracts is 353 and the total of the 2 contracts is 303. So there's 4 put credit spreads going on in this account right now. Then we have Ionic CCS. That is a call credit spread, okay? So here I'm doing like a little bit of the reverse, but it's still reminding me, okay? So I'm putting down the call that I sold, the 47. So what I'm saying, what I've entered into an agreement of this trade is that I will provide these shares to somebody else at $47, okay? So, and then the upper leg is 57. So for that premium, I get call credit spread is paying me $315 right now. Now I am saying this. I'm saying, oh, if this one paid me $353, this one $303, this one $315. That is factually accurate at this point in time. However, these numbers could change because I could like close this and pay to close it. It could expire worthless. I get the whole premium. I could be assigned shares and then something else happens here. So it's like, this isn't finished, but I need to know, like, I definitely want to track how much I initially got paid and then what the closeout cost, if there's going to be one, is, so I can like see how I'm doing, okay? So that's why I'm doing this here. So some people are like, oh my gosh, she's collecting the whole premium. That's not how it's going to be. I know that. We all know that, but it's important to track where you start, okay? So Amazon, we did a put credit spread, got $679. Oh, okay. Then we get into something really interesting, leaps, okay? So I bought 3 Amazon leaps, and what I'm doing here is I'm writing in how much they cost me, what the initial cost was. So this was $3,059, and there's like the expiration date of the contract, 6/17/2027 for the 300 call, okay? 300 strike price. And I have 2 of those, so I list these out on 2 separate lines because I will add more data to these lines later. You'll see. Then I have another leaps for the 59.45 cost and the expiration date and the strike price there. And then I've got an Amazon put credit spread, an Amazon call credit spread. Here's where it gets interesting. Okay, another interesting thing is for Walmart right here, I have a leaps, and then I did /DS, which stands for diagonal spread. So I wrote down the initial cost of my leaps, and then below it, I sold a call against that leaps. And I wrote down the call that I sold. So this is 144.4. So I got paid. This means I got paid 144 for Walmart 2/28/2025 108 call. And I got paid $144 to do that. So this is how I keep track of a diagonal spread. Others may do it different. That's up to you. You can get more complicated with this, or maybe there's even a simpler way to do it. But this is how I keep track of it. And then the same thing here, okay? I like doing it this way because if I am in the position where these don't expire until 1/15/2027, like I will just have rows and rows and rows here and keep selling calls against here, and you'll start to see how I can collect like maybe $5,000 on selling calls against this leap by the time I'm done with it. So we'll see that all add up. And then the last trade that I have in the account right now is this Apple call credit spread. And the total premium I got in for that right now is $305. Now, let's just see, like, just for giggles, let's see, like, if this all ended up that everything expired worthless and I didn't sell any of my leaps, like, what would I have here? A total of 3,167. Why is that amount not reflected in my account currently? Because I sold those Amazon calls and they are underwater. And a lot of these positions are sort of like, they're declining. They're like costing more in the account. Like they're going up and down in value. And that can sort of freak you out when you first start trading, being like, why is this worth more or less than what I originally set it up for? Because the stock's moving up and down. That's why. So you just kind of have to be patient here, and you have to have like your strategy in place and know what you're doing to be able to manage those trades and get yourself in a good position should something go like not the direction that you want it to, or have a backup trade. But I mentor on all of that in my course. But just to give you an idea of where we're at, that's kind of where we are at. If all of these trades should expire worthless, but I'm still holding my leaps. And remember, those cost me money. So I have spent right now $3,059, $3,059, $5,945, $2,198. And those are still worth something, but some of them aren't worth what we originally spent on them, okay? So again, that doesn't worry me. I am totally good with that because I know that this is going to go very well. I kind of have a tried and true method here. But yeah, we will go over and see how we are doing against the overall market. Spoiler alert, we're down against the overall market. Part of that is because the overall market has risen 5% and we are still sitting in a lot of cash. And cash can't rise in value when it's cash. It just kind of sits there and doesn't get any return at all. Okay, one thing to check in with you before I go, and I'll be checking in with you guys again on this account in the next like week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. We always want to check our rate of return and just see how we're doing, right? Like, how are we doing? And right now I am losing 1%. Ugh, so annoying. And the other indexes are up like 5%. So why didn't I get all involved with those? Just wait. Just wait, okay? So, yeah, like I said from the beginning, I'm not really like focused on this on the short term here at all. I know that there could be some drawdown in this account before it pops up, and I'm totally cool with that. But I did want to invite you guys to watch my video. It's going to be linked down in the comments about how I made $400K last year in 2024 trading a $600K account. Because that's really interesting, and it actually runs through all of the trades that I do in this account. Okay, so if you want more information on like what those trades are and what they look like, I talk about them here. But if you want to kind of hear the like benefits and disadvantages of them, or how I employed these to make that kind of money in a year, definitely go check that video out. And if you're interested in having a meeting with me to figure out if you want to options trade or learn some of the strategies that I'm doing here, you can click on that link as another link listed below to book a meeting.